I will. Oh, boy. Okay, so let's do this. Fuck yes. Welcome to After the Hype. Me, your host, is always Brian Nolan. With me, as always, is Jonathan Hardesty.
Boop.
Samantha Garrison.
Hello.
Emily Blake.
Hi.
And CHEWIE Darso.
Hi.
Oh, my God.
We're all
We're
full fucking house today.
full house. We're all actually here.
Woo.
CHEWIE, I'm actually
missed
a CG.
you so much.
You too.
Sam and CHEWIE have not been on an episode together since we've had our baby.
Yeah.
They are not the same person. We're just finding
Nope.
out.
Yeah. Turns out that's true. Special guest this week. We're doing a Christmas episode, so we figured we should talk to somebody who knows their shit about Christmas, and who would know better than somebody who's made I don't know how many Christmas movies, Mr. Brian Nolan.
God. I haven't counted yet, but me and CHEWIE were talking about that as we were walking up. I was like, you know what? I don't know the exact Christmas count yet, but I need to check on it. So
It's a lot. I'm
But you
assuming.
just celebrated making 50 movies with one production company, right?
I have, yeah.
50 movies.
Well, they're not their
done.
Christmas.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you
That's
very
really
much.
good.
I'm excited to be here, by the way. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
thank you guys for inviting me to be here.
Yeah, we a long time ago, we're like, we need to figure an episode we can have Brian on, and then we just never figured out what episode that was, and then this is just could not be more your wheelhouse.
I've just
We
been
even
kind
have
of
a movie
missing
that you've
you
produced.
Yes, yeah. Yes, there is on there. So I got to be careful about what I say. Yeah. Actually, about all of these.
You don't want to
'cause,
offend yourself.
Like, it's so small in that world, too. So it's like you don't know who knows who and the what and
Sure.
the wow. And be like, everything's great. All these movies are fantastic.
Yeah.
We do. Was it true that every one of these movies was produced by Mar Vista?
I think so. There's one that I forgot to check. I know 4 out of 5 were, though.
Mar
Mine
Vista
was.
never paid my friend Brian for a movie that he wrote, so fuck Mar Vista right now.
Aw.
They owe him thousands of dollars, and it's been
Bummer.
3 years.
I don't work for Mar Vista, so it's okay.
Yikes. Do you have anything you want to plug up front? Is there something coming on TV right now?
Oh,
people should keep an eye
yeah.
out
Well,
for?
we did 6 Christmas movies this year.
Wow.
And our
Jeez.
last one
Holy
is
balls.
Christmas Made to Order, which will air next Sunday, the 23rd of December on Hallmark.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Hallmark
that would
channel.
have actually, when this episode comes out, would have aired 2 days ago. Because this is
Oh.
coming out Christmas Day.
Oh, copy
So-
that.
You can
So
watch it now.
You can
y'all
watch
better
it
have
now.
watched.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's also a couple of other ones from previous years, from this year. We have a couple running on Lifetime and a couple on Hallmark as well. So
Perfect.
check them out.
Yeah. Let's do a quick where have you been doing? I can go first. I've been playing Far Cry 5, and it's been awesome. And that's all I'm going to say on it. John, what about you?
I've been playing Ori and the Blind Forest, and I like Metroidvanias, and it's been fun. That's all I'll say about that.
Perfect. Sam?
I watched the Nailed It holiday season, and it was wonderful. I love Nicole Byer. I love Nailed It. I love Jacques. And they had an experimental episode called Nailed It Makers, and it was like a crafting edition. Totally cool.
That's pretty awesome. I've only like 3 episodes into it, 2 episodes into it. I don't remember how many are actually in the season, but
I like the crafting one, except that there's no Jacques and no Wes, but I like the idea of doing crafts.
that's pretty cool. Emily, what about you?
I watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 2. Overall, enjoyed it. Very good. Still this, really funny and engaging. And Zachary Levi is doing it for me, you guys, because he's got like the fucking Shazam muscles, but like he's having to be like a stodgy Jewish doctor, so he keeps wearing a polo shirt. You can fucking tell. Like, you're just like, I know
those cute little short sleeve shirts.
and he's bulging out of them. He's so hot in this, and then that's why. But I was really disappointed by the very end, and I wrote an article about it for our podcast website about my feelings on how this season portrayed their like separation and possible divorce, and I was not happy with how it ended. But other than that, I really enjoyed the season.
Cool. Brian, what about you?
Nice. I'm reading a book right now on the making of Stranger Things, or it's like a behind-the-scenes kind of production-oriented book on Stranger Things, which has been very exciting, and because I love that show, and it talks about going into the production design of it and how they, captured that time period and the novelty of 80s pop culture. So
Cool.
it's good. And then last night I watched the Christmas episode of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix.
Me too.
Wasn't that great?
It was so good.
Oh my God, it was
I
so
loved
good.
it.
I was
I
like,
loved
it was
it.
so like dark and crazy and but amazing. So I don't know, the show came out of nowhere, but it's
I
fantastic.
love it so
Yeah.
much.
I watched the pilot of A Million Little Things this morning because I want to see Nick Burkhart not be Nick Burkhart. I
From Grimm?
Yeah. I don't remember the actor's real name right now, so...
I just assumed that was his name. That's how
Yeah.
much I watch.
Well, that's how I'm always going to refer to him as Burkhart, but whatever. It is okay. It is about people having emotions and people cheating on each other and being in your late 30s or early 40s, something like that. I don't know. I'll give it a little chance, but it really doesn't feel like it's going to be that amazing quite yet.
Bummer.
It does feel like it was made like, This Is Us is popular. Let's do something similar.
I mean, that kind of happens. All right, I think it's time to talk Christmas movies.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Never seen any. So.
I mean, it would be kind of like the drug dealer who doesn't do drugs. Like, I only make Christmas movies. I don't watch them.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Chewie, you're going to be kind of in charge of this one.
I guess I am.
Yeah. So I'll hand the
Are you the
reins.
judge?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I came up with this idea.
You sure did.
And then you assigned the movies, didn't you?
Well, we picked them.
I helped her pick the movies.
And then sorry, I was gonna put my phone down. And then we just did a rando generator, and yeah. So, the movies on the table, thanks to Hulu, was 12 Dates of Christmas, which I believe you have, John or Brian. Sorry.
I rewatched it yesterday as well too. So.
Yeah. And then we have the Mistle-Tones, which John has to defend.
What?
That's a pretty great
A
title.
Cinderella Christmas.
Yes.
For Sam. My Santa for
Very
Emily.
exciting. Very exciting.
And Married by Christmas with Brian Dressel defending.
Yes.
All right, so Emily,
Huh?
you
yes,
go
ma'am.
first.
Okay.
Tell
do we have
me.
a time limit? Are we doing time limits?
It's 5 minutes.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
me how My Santa is your favorite holiday movie.
First of all,
And where does it say go? Start.
okay. First of all, it stars Samara Armstrong, who I just worked with on a Lifetime movie, and she is fucking great, and I love her, and she's an amazing crier, and she's awesome, and a delight to work with. Yeah. Okay, so I've never sat in Santa's lap. Santa terrified me as a child. I still don't totally trust him. It's weird. Santa's weird.
You have a thing for costume people.
I don't. I know, and I do costumes. Anyway, I don't do Santa. I don't like Santa. But this movie presented Santa as a young, reasonably attractive man who is non-threatening, and I appreciated that. And it made me it made me like Santa a little bit more. So this movie kind of helped heal the terror I have of Santa Claus, and so that's really important. Like, I came out of this movie a better, more well-adjusted person, psychologically. That's important. Okay, so CHEWIE worked on it. I saw her name come up, and Brian was in it.
Hell yeah, I am.
So already this movie is winning. I was down checking my email at one point, and I glanced back up at my TV, and it was like, there was Brian, and I was like, oh, Brian, front and center, and he's very tall and has a beard. So, all right,
All true facts.
So this kid. Okay, so the story is about this mom, Samara Armstrong, who's got this kid who just all he wants is a fucking Christmas tree. But also there's a Santa, and his name is Chris. I presume his name is Kris Kringle. And
Why?
he basically is Santa's son. So he goes out and becomes Santa Claus along with his assistant Jerry from Parks and Rec. And I know he's in it too.
Jim O'Hare.
And Jerry is the elf, I guess. And Chris is basically cosplaying his dad. And which is kind of cool, I guess. Like, boy, talk about going into the family business, and that's good. That's wholesome and family-like, And he has kids sitting on his lap, and like all the diversity, which is good because they were like a very diverse children. And the kid, Samara Armstrong's kid, whose name I forget, just wants like a Mike Maxim. Or a Max Maxim or a Max Mikesum. I don't know. He wants a fucking action doll. So it's like Jingle All the Way, which is obviously everyone else's favorite Christmas movie. And
Obviously.
and then so that's why he wants this doll and a tree. And then the young Santa comes along, and like he's running the tree lot. Also, that's his day job, night job. And then they get a tree from him, and then he shows up, and everything's like, fuck Christmas. Like, she's not, mom's like, I'm not, because her husband left her at Christmas. Her much older, much balder husband. Ew. Left her at Christmas and broke her Hummel figurine, and she's still not over it. And so years go by, and she's still mad about Christmas, but here comes Chris Kringle, Santa's son, and he restores her love of Christmas by baking cookies and giving her a Hummel figurine. and teaching this family that lives in a really nice house but is also very poor how to enjoy Christmas as well, because they're having hard times and they're really bummed out. And he fixes the turkey because it's very dry and gross. And I know. Basically, he brings magic into everyone's life. And in the end, Samara Armstrong decides to run off and marry him because she's fallen in love with him. And they move to the North Pole, or at least that's where we're left. And because she's decided not only is she fallen in love with Santa Claus, despite the fact that there was a really fucking hot dude working at her work, but she was not into him, which is pretty nice because it means like you don't automatically go for the hottest dude. You're going for the magical dude, which I appreciate. Because he's basically like a Harry Potter character. So she runs off to the North Pole to be with him. And it's all about magic. And Christmas is great. And Santa Claus is approachable and likable. And Brian's in it and Chewie worked on it. And I enjoyed it. And I came out, like I said, thinking, hey, maybe Santa's not so scary. He might be okay. And I don't know if I'd marry him and move to the North Pole because I feel like it's really cold there. I'd be like, can we do a long distance thing? But I appreciated that the mom, got back her good feelings about Christmas, and she fell in love again, which she had not had love for a very long time. She also has a quirky best friend, like you do. And the kid was okay. Kid actors can be annoying. This one was all right. He just really wanted that tree, and then he got that tree. And there you go. That's let's see if I made any other good points. Let's see. My Christmas spirit is restored. There's a lady. Oh my God. There's an actor. There's a character named Gertrude. Every scene she is in, she is fucking acting her pants off. Like, she is just, it was amazing to watch. She was just like, I'm on camera. I'm going to fucking act the shit out of this scene.
And restart.
There you go.
Well, all right, now everyone take down my Santa.
As a Santa fetishist, I'm offended that Santa is not the hottest man in this movie, or Santa Jr., whatever. That's weird.
Might be Santa like 3000
like,
Jr.
He's like, sit on my lap and I'll tell you you're naughty. Like, Santa's supposed to be hot.
I'm not sure how I feel about Santa's supposed to be hot, but...
Daddy.
You didn't see it, but Sam just finger gunned.
Father
Silver Fox,
He's
I guess,
called
is the right.
Father Christmas.
Ooh, Daddy Christmas.
That's not.
Why don't you be my reindeer?
That's not what a daddy fetish is. It's not like
Not
father.
for you. Not for you.
Take me to kindergarten.
That's another Christmas movie airing this year. My Santa fetish, my Christmas Santa fetish.
Yeah.
People would watch it.
They probably would, trust me.
Prolific nature of porn and the prolific nature of made-for-TV family films.
Well,
come
there is
together.
that scene in Bad Santa where she's like, "Fuck me, Santa. Fuck me, Santa." Yeah.
That was not in your movie.
That was not. That movie was wholesome.
That's why they called it My Santa. You don't remember? No. I have nothing bad to say about this movie because, well, I worked on it. I was the UPM of that movie. I wasn't a producer on it.
Was it a pleasant work experience?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you had great coworkers, clearly.
Oh, absolutely. And it was nice, actually. Sam, the director, is really great, and the cast was really great. And your amazing summary kind of brought back all these memories. Like, I forgot about that woman, Gertrude, the crazy woman that worked in the newspaper
We're supposed to be
office.
taking her down. Does anyone have anything to take her down?
Because it's the best movie.
We're all just filled with holiday spirit.
Yeah, everyone's just really happy about these movies. I would have to say my biggest complaint with it is I feel...
Is it that you're in it?
Yeah, there's one
That's my
extra who
complaint.
just sucks. Like, he just ruins the entire scene as soon as the camera's on him.
He's acting like he shouldn't have been in this.
He's really got this, like, there wasn't enough people in the shot vibe to him.
Yeah.
He's just awful.
I mean, it was just so jarring. It was distracting. I started thinking about movies and movie making in general. I don't want to think about that during Christmas.
Totally ripped the movie to pieces. I think the production design was rather lacking. I think it's just pure garbage.
Burn.
I do enjoy watching it with Chewie because she can point out everything. Like, I wish I'd done this different. And then she's like, oh, that blanket still looks good on camera.
Yeah.
I do have one. I'm going to take it down for a second on my own. Is that there was one scene where we were all supposedly drinking like hot chocolate, and there's very clearly nothing anywhere.
Oh, there most definitely is hot chocolate.
word.
I burned myself on it many times.
Well, it looks like it's empty.
It's not.
Okay.
That's
Wait,
acting.
so
Well, then
Everyone
there you go.
in
That
this
was my-
movie sucked at pretending to drink hot chocolate.
There we go. That's the biggest problem with this movie. They don't know how to pretend to drink their real hot chocolate. I I did have to start filling the cups lesser and lesser because we were taking the hot chocolate from Crafty and they were running out. And Matt would keep drinking the entirety of his hot chocolate every take. It's like, dude, we have a limited supply. So yeah, there's problems with this movie.
It is really weird that she chooses to move to the North Pole at the end. Like, it's a rapidly diminishing place because like the North Pole isn't a landmass, it's ice. So like with global warming, I feel like maybe even Santa should consider relocating, and I don't appreciate the irresponsible environmental message.
He's magical.
Well, those scenes were cut where they discussed that at length.
See, that's what
ahead
I
of its
mean.
time.
It's too middle of the road. Take a stand. Save the North Pole. Well, that's the real Christmas
Literally
magic.
at the end of the movie, they're in the car and he says, "Mommy, where are we going?" And she says, "The North Pole." And
You can't
that's
drive there.
Was it a
Movie
zero emission
ends.
car though?
No,
A zero
I don't
emission
think
car?
so.
No.
You
No,
can't
it definitely
even
wasn't.
drive there though.
You can drive a good chunk of the way, but yeah, clearly they're just taking too many logic gaps in this movie. Like
Maybe
it just
it's
doesn't.
like a place where once you get there, like a magic thing opens up, and then you go in, and it's like, oh, this is maybe global warming is a hoax, and really it's just Santa trying to keep everybody from knowing that he's up there.
Maybe it's
I mean,
a
yes, if you're a
narwhal
conspiracy
ferry.
theorist, sure.
Maybe it's like maybe
God,
it's
the
like a
Republicans
ferry
would
pulled
love
by
that.
narwhal barges.
That makes me so happy. Global warming actually is a hoax, and it's just Santa saying, "Get off my lawn." Like, Santa's just getting old and crotchety. More problems with my Santa. Has crotchety Santa in it.
It doesn't have crotchety Santa.
We didn't see Santa. We saw Santa's son.
We saw Santa's kid. Yeah.
So I just
who
have to-
really
But
wants
his
to get married.
genetics, his genetics weren't good enough to make him the hottest dude in the movie.
Well, see, Santa was spending so much time maintaining that global warming field that he couldn't pass off any of the beautiful genes to his son.
Yeah, I guess
I mean,
that's
he's
true.
still a good-looking dude. He's just not like the other dude is like a model.
Yeah.
Other
The
problems.
word-
with-
yeah, Ben Gavin, I believe, is the name of the actor. He's
Oh.
very, very attractive.
This is the most fun battle episode ever.
Okay, time is up. Time to go on the next movie, and we'll go clockwise. So, Brian,
Oh, wow. Okay.
tell me, how was 12 Dates of Christmas? The
Well,
best Christmas movie.
I will say, because I've seen so many of these and I've worked on so many of these, that sometimes when I'm, it's hard sometimes to jump
Hold on,
in.
1 second. Hold on. It just okay, it's going. It just disappeared from
Oh,
okay, go,
perfect.
go.
Okay, good. And go. Because I've worked on so many of these that sometimes it's like, I've seen every concept and every kind of like, oh, trip to the North Pole via this way or that way, or this guy's really Santa and, whatever. So I have to say I was really taken in by this movie. I had only seen a little bit of it a couple years ago. It came out in 2011. It stars Amy Smart and Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zach Morris. And I have to say, it's really charming. It has the Groundhog Day concept to it, which I have to say I've done myself in another Christmas movie that we won't mention, which, by the way, is like a reoccurring concept.
Well, time loops are a serious problem in this world.
Right. It seems to be like a reoccurring thing in movies now where it's almost like I feel like we're all entitled to our own Groundhog Day experience in reality, Like, I was thinking a lot about that. Like, what if everybody was just able to do this at least one time in their life where they kept reliving this day over and over again? Lucky for her, it's because it's called the 12 Dates of Christmas. There's only 12 times she has to relive this day over until she gets it right. And thank God she got it right after the, on the 12th date. Otherwise, they would have to change the title of the movie. So it was super charming. So pretty much Amy Smart is this businesswoman. They're always a businesswoman who's addicted to her job and blah, 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 blah. And she is pining after her ex-boyfriend who had left her, and she's going to buy him this expensive sweater, and it's all very exciting. And then she finds out that he's getting engaged to a former high school flame, and she's crushed. And then she's supposed to go on this blind date with this guy who turns out to be Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zach Morris, which someone sent me on a date with Zach Morris. That'd be awesome. Like, it doesn't get better than a blind date situation than that. So she goes on the blind date. It doesn't go well. And then throughout the course of the film, this kind of variation of the day keeps going and going until she gets it right, till she moves on from that asshole. Excuse me, can I cuss on here?
You can swear all you want.
That really mean boyfriend to the clear good guy. Yeah, it's great. I will say I teared up a little bit because there's stuff with their parents in there, and there's stuff with there's a really kind of dark portion where like Mark Paul Gosselaar's like ex-wife like died in a ladder fall or something, which I'm like, wow, they never put that kind of stuff in these movies because it's so sad.
We don't talk enough about the danger of falling off ladders.
It's true.
It's touching, and it kind of comes full circle. The way she keeps reliving the day over and over again is she's at the department store and she gets sprayed with perfume in the face, and she has like a allergic reaction, falls back. So every night at midnight, when the clock strikes midnight, she wakes up again on the floor of the department store at Christmas, and she's continually surprised by all the emotional investments and the character arc she takes, and what she really finds attractive in men, and how her relationship with her father gets better, and how her relationship with her best friend gets better. There's also a very nice old lady that lives next door to her that bakes her a cake, and like, you know, she's like, stop giving me this cake, because, you know, she gets it every day. So she's like, you know, but then she finally invests in a relationship with this nice lonely old woman next door, and she learns to love again and love life, and her and Zach Morris, you know, become happy together. I'm trying to.
You have another minute.
I got another minute. Okay.
You can duck out if you don't.
No. I feel like it's. I'm trying not to give away too much, but then I kind of got to give away too much.
Spoil away. We spoil everything.
And it's kind of, now that I'm going back, I'm like, wow, this movie's kind of like really confusing, because I'm thinking about all the different trajectories, because it's the same day over and over and over again. But then something wacky happens, or something new, or something, you know, unexpected. But I have to say, and I mean this 100% legitimately, that because I've seen so many of these and I worked on so many of these, this movie was really good. Like it really like brought me in. And usually like I'll tune out like right away if it's like not a concept I'm interested in, or I just can't get into the talent or the, you know, design of it all. Because sometimes you can tell it's really, you know, expensive, or it's really cheap, you know, and or if it was really shot in winter or summer. This was shot in winter, and it really took me in, and the acting's really good. It's really solid.
And we leave on that solid note. All right. Yep. Stop. Dismiss. Okay. Now, everyone, what is wrong with 12 Dates of Christmas?
She's complaining about getting too much cake.
Wow, what a rude lady.
I know.
It's a strange complaint. Like, who has a problem with cake? And it looks like a good cake. So, yeah, I guess your movie isn't that great.
Well, I guess not. Well, no, I will say that one of her, you know, trajectories of her dates, you know, she eats eclairs and buys expensive things. I think she buys a Lamborghini at one point.
She does.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, you know.
I watched all of these movies because I don't
buy a Lambo off the lot.
No,
Like,
you don't just walk
She
out.
did,
have
though.
experience in this.
No, but I watch a lot of car videos on YouTube because I think cars are really pretty, and it's one thing Will and I can agree on. Anyway, so like you can't, like, the reason like dealerships exist for luxury cars is basically so you can go in and place an order to your specifications, and then it comes like 3 to 6 weeks later from the factory, delivered special for you.
This
so
movie
like,
is inaccurate.
some bullshit.
Inaccurate.
I want the real Lamborghini buying experience, the anticipation.
Well, it's a completely logical movie, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Honestly. Well,
It's scientifically
perfume
proven.
is dangerous.
It is. And do they address that, like, what the deal is with the perfume, why it, like, knocked her out, how serious?
They never go into
Was
that.
the lady
she
behind
said
the
she has low
counter
blood
magic?
sugar.
Yeah,
Low
she's
blood-
low blood sugar. She
you
needs a
know.
cookie.
So the Beatus
Yeah, or
gives
cake.
you time travel powers.
Yes.
Right.
I feel like that's discriminatory against people with the Beatus.
Or is it celebrating them?
Okay.
It's a perk that you get, I guess. But I mean, the time displacement thing is actually a big concern that I have. I worry about
And
that constantly.
falling off ladders.
Falling off
and-
ladders. Maybe that's like.
What if
second
falling
to
off
it.
a ladder kicks off your Groundhog Day scenario?
That would be the nightmare scenario, and I'm just wondering how they address that rip in the time and space thing, if at all. I wish there would have been a scene there where they
Also-
talked about that.
Right,
Lattes.
you think he could relive that day over and over
So
again? So you just
Zach
stop her
Morris
from
has
falling
an
off the ladder.
ex-wife.
a dead wife.
A dead wife.
I'm not trifling with widows, in my romantic
I would
Christmas
fuck
fantasy.
Zach Morris a lot.
In this movie, he's super charming and like really sexy.
But
and,
here's,
like,
I have some
get
actual
it.
things I can say about this one. But Zach Morris, he pulls the ripcord so fast. Like, as soon as something happens he doesn't like about Amy Smart, he is gone.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, well, she said something. Like, it's a blind date. You're going to say something stupid at some point. Like, that's just what happens. And she says the one stupid thing. And he's like flipping the table, like, I can't be with this person, and storms out. It's like, all right, calm down. Yeah.
That's not who you want to end up with at the end of your romantic Christmas movie.
Right? Yeah. Not the guy who just couldn't like have any patience for any weird sort of
Or
thing.
that
She's
whole
going through a
thing with
strange...
the dog, like how that guy, he like runs like a hockey team for like homeless youth, I believe, homeless like boys, or like it's like
Were they homeless or just like
or like I don't know, I think they lived at that. Anyway,
I think you're right. Yeah, I think they do.
Disadvantaged kids. Yeah, and there's like you don't really see their actual place where they live. So, but one of them has a dog, and he runs away because Zach Morris won't let him keep the dog or whatever like that. So yeah,
and their plan would not work. Like I know it's a Christmas movie and happy, but the plan is like, we'll just get the dog inside the door and they'll never kick it out. Right. That's not how that works.
Well, yeah, because the dog has to go back out the door to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
So if the plan to get him in means he'll never leave, then okay, then you're having him
He's
shit in your house.
That's exactly what they were worried about.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't like irresponsible pet owners, even if they are underprivileged youth that live at a hockey rink.
So much wrong with this movie.
Also, every time I see Mark Paul Gosselaar now, all I think of is the Funny or Die series, Zach Morris is Trash, where they go through every episode of Saved by the Bell and explain why Zach Morris is a raging sociopath.
I appreciate that we're mostly calling him Zach Morris and not by his name or his character name.
It's so much easier to say Zach
I
Morris.
forgot that was Raised by the Bell.
It wasn't Raised by the Bell.
Saved by the
Bell. I just sad childhood.
You don't get pregnancy brain as an excuse anymore.
Whatever. I was never Saved by the Bell person, so
clearly.
When I say I'd fuck him now. I'm talking about currently.
Yeah, not the creepy 1990s one.
He has a lumberjack beard.
I
His
don't want to
IMDb
fuck teenage
picture.
Zach Morris. I want to fuck like adult, was on pitch and had all his muscles and that beard, Zach Morris.
Yeah, there you go.
He is like admittedly a very good looking man.
Yes, he is.
And Amy Smart is great. Why am I saying this?
Yeah. You know what? I think she's really underrated. When I was watching this, I was like, she's really good. She's really like you're taken in by her, and she's never. It's always,
I'm staring at the last few seconds, and I need to get this out there. Your movie was
you're taken in by her.
It was really boring.
There's a great.
Sounds really boring.
It's like
awesome.
painfully boring, and it should have been awesome.
I kind of dozed off.
Okay.
There's nothing boring about ladders and time dilation.
We're
Jeez.
done with 12 Days of Christmas. It is now the 13th day.
Good, thank God. I've been freaking out.
Was it 12 days of Christmas or 12 dates?
Dates of Christmas. And on that 13th date day, we had Married by Christmas. All right, Brian, get going.
That was hysterical to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was given the wonderful task of Married by Christmas. Married by Christmas, I should say in the beginning, I'm not a huge fan of this brand of Christmas movie. I can see their merit. I get why people like them. They're just not usually what I go for. So somehow the Wheel of Chance gave me the perfect movie for me, because it kind of goes against a lot of the norms that these movies do. It has characters that don't end up where you think they would. It goes for plot lines you wouldn't expect, and it just kind of does things a little bit different. And because of that, I was able to enjoy it like that much more. And it stars Ava Sharp from Legends of Tomorrow, and I love her. So seeing her in anything is just like, all right, I'm in. So as soon as I saw her in the poster, I knew I could get through the hour and 28 minutes, because they all seem to be an hour and 28 minutes for some reason. But I knew I could do it pretty well. So the story is essentially a man owns a company. His daughter wants to take over the company. It's like a food service company. But the person who actually owned it was his mom, and she died. And in her will, she has unbelievably ironclad. And they need to remind you constantly, this is ironclad. Out of the two daughters, whoever gets married first, their husband will now own the company, because the mom was old school, or however they put it in there, and she only thought men could run the company, which is a huge problem. So as soon as the main character, Ava Sharp's sister, gets engaged and is going to be married at Christmas, she realizes that crunchy husband douchebag guy is going to own the company, and she needs to get married before then. So she starts to get on a hunt to go get married before Christmas so that she can own the company. And the
Seems
first
legit.
Yeah, I mean, it works as a plot. Like, okay, I can get into this. And they constantly remind you, like, our lawyer took a look at this and it doesn't work. You have to get married. It's like, okay, we get it. I could have been in there from the beginning, but it's fine. I appreciate that you really dotted those T's and checked those I's. So moving beyond that, the first guy that she decides that she's going to try to marry, out of two, really, is her high school sweetheart, who she tracks down because she hasn't spoke to him in forever, tracks down, finds him, and he's still single, and he's really sweet and really nice, and she's like, oh, this could work. We still get along really, and he's gay. So that won't work out. So she has...
Why? Okay, sorry, carry on.
They address it. It's in the way of he is very firm about his beliefs on marriage, and if he's going to get married, it has to be to the person that he loves. And it's like, okay, I get it. That's the kind of the wheelhouse that we're in. Love is like that important. I get it.
The gay character said that?
Yeah, the gay character.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
That's
like
great.
I appreciated that. I thought that was pretty great. And then moving beyond that, so now the girl realizes that she has nobody to marry. She only has about a week to do it. And she's kind of getting along with the best man, even though the best man was a total dick to her in the beginning of the movie. Again, that's the type of movie we're in. They met in litigation, and he came in being a lawyer. And then that lawyer had to go against them. So he was really rude and stood his ground. So she thought he was a dick. And it turns out, no, he's a nice guy. He's just a lawyer and had to do his job. So they start kind of getting along, but not enough to get married. So she realizes this isn't going to work. And that's where this movie goes against all the other sorts of things. Because usually in these types of movies, it would work out somehow. Maybe the sister would take the company and then give it to her as a Christmas present. Like, oh, Merry Christmas. Here's your company. And no, she quits. She hands her sister a letter of resignation, and she's like, I'm out. I'm going to go start my own company. I'm going to go do my own thing. And the movie turns from this like, oh, we need to be a happy family and all work together, into like an inspiring, I'm going to be my own person and not have to stay with the shackles of the family business, and I can actually do my own thing. And I'm not married to this guy. We kissed once, and we kind of are a couple, but not really. And she is her own person now. And I'm like, oh, this is not at all what I expected from a like Freeform, I think this one was, Christmas movie. Like I thought it was all going to work out. She was going to get married to either the first guy or the second guy, and somehow she's going to end up with the company, and it's all going to work out peachy, like it usually does. And it still ends happy. Everyone is in a good mood at the end of it, but it had that slight twist of like, oh, it didn't all work out. Like everything is positive, but it's more realistic in the way of like, but we didn't get everything we wanted. We're okay with what we have. And I thought that was really cool. The movie is still fun and sweet and silly and all those sorts of things, but the actual message was far more serious. And that's why I thought, if I'm going to get stuck with a Christmas movie, especially in this brand, I'm very fortunate for what I ended up with. And that's essentially all I have to say.
All right. Are we done?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's find out why Married Before Christmas is no good.
Married by Christmas. Thank
Married
you very
by
much.
Sexist. This is the Me Too era. I don't want to hear it. No, I'm kidding.
I do appreciate the effort you made to make it sound like it's a feminist movie, because you really worked very hard at it.
Emily's not the judge, though.
This is not. No.
Fuck your downer Christmas movie. Man, she could have married the lawyer that knew the case inside and out, and then they could have co-owned a business and like been rich.
They could have gotten
That's what
together
Christmas
and
is all about.
murdered the old lady who had these sexist ideals, and
She was
know.
already
She's
dead.
already dead.
She's already
I
dead.
wasn't
That's the
listening
thing.
at
Is
that
like they didn't get a chance to murder her. She beat him to the punch. Where's the fun in
I'm
that?
surprised no one fell off a ladder and died.
Yeah, not quite that bleak. Just
or
a little
tried
bleak.
it, or it would have been fun if she tried to break up her sister's engagement.
That's kind of where I thought it was going to go for a while. Like, they kind of made the guy look like, oh, maybe he's an asshole and was just using his sister to get the company. So I was expecting that turn. That never happened. He was just kind of crunchy and wanted to sell
just
What do you
vegan
mean
food.
by crunchy?
He's all about the vegan food, and he doesn't want to sell meat anymore. And he just
like
wants to
granola.
sell-
So he's going to run the company in the ground.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to
yeah.
ruin
Oh,
everything.
Great.
That's
So
what
then
happens.
she can start her new business and be open, like, and take the.
Yeah.
Well,
But
then
it's
she's
like-
just letting her sister make bad decisions.
Yeah, and it's
It's
also
like the anti-Frozen.
I don't want to talk about the sister
Let
very
it
much
go.
because she
Punishment-
sucks.
All right,
Like,
but the
she's
punishment
awful.
of like you're
admitting that parts of this movie are butt.
yeah, but like so the one sister's getting rewarded because she got married to a man, and the second sister is getting punished because she doesn't get the company, so she has to start all over with what? like a brand new company from scratch, like that's super easy.
So she has to do more work.
They're super rich. It's pretty easy. If you have an unlimited amount of money, starting a
it's that
company.
easy.
And it's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Does she
spent all
have an
this money.
unlimited amount of
got to
money
do
if
with
she has to quit her job?
Also,
They made it look like yes. She definitely will have no
Sure,
problem.
they made it look like that, but as we've seen in these movies, even poor people live in 4-bedroom houses.
Besides, like, it doesn't matter if they're rich or not. It's
This
the
is
principle of the thing. Like, she's being
Exactly.
punished for not having a heterosexual monogamous marriage. Boo.
I can't argue with that.
I will say, in defense of the feminist aspect, is that the majority of these movies, I don't think they get enough credit for it, is that they're predominantly, it's always a female character. It's always about a female character and her life and her choice. The guy is always secondary. So, and I don't think the genre gets enough credit for that it's always about the female.
There's that, and then this one I thought, the reason I gave it the leg up was because it wasn't about her. They masked it in the way of it's about her ending up with somebody, and then by the end of the movie, it turns out that wasn't the important
I mean,
thing.
at least she didn't marry some random dude. I still think, like, well, at the same time, it would have been kind of cool if she just married some dude who didn't give a shit, just wanted some money, and then, like, he could have stayed home and watched TV while she ran off and ran the company. I kind of would have liked to see that.
I mean,
too.
that's the dream scenario everyone wants.
I do think that upending the illusion that marriage is for love and like making a marriage a business partnership is really smart, especially if she does end up with like 6 boyfriends and a girlfriend or something. But like, you know, this movie didn't have the balls to go there.
Yeah, your movie has no balls.
It is in the wheelhouse of where these movies exist, so it only could have many balls.
Freeform is is the most progressive of these channels.
And balls should generally be free form, like on the channel. But it seems like they're a little restrained.
Well, it's interesting to see how different it is from like the networks differ in their what they want and what they prefer and what they don't allow, you know.
Also, that contract, who was the lawyer? Was it like a rent-a-center lawyer? My God.
No, that lawyer was the best lawyer of all time, because that should be the most easily broken will ever, and no one could do it. Whoever drafted that will was a genius. I'm assuming it was Santa.
Or was everyone an idiot?
Or it was Santa's son.
Or Santa's son, sure.
He knows everything about clauses and how to make sure no one can go around him.
That's good.
Oh boy.
That's kind of idea for a new movie.
that did it.
I got nothing after that.
Yeah, I'm spent.
Sorry, I'm supposed to be impartial, but that was a good movie.
Was the guy hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They both were. Both the
I know
the gay
she's
guy.
hot, but like I don't
No,
know.
I meant the gay guy and the lawyer. They were both very attractive men.
See, that's great. That, by the way, I just want to bring this up again, too. That's awesome, because we've had supporting characters that were gay in some of our Lifetime movies, but I know other networks that necessarily wouldn't happen. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
I will say there was no Santa in your movie, and there's no Santa in your movie.
I just said he wrote the contract.
Oh, Santa wrote the... No, you're making that up.
I think it makes
there was
sense.
no Santa in your
As
movie.
CHEWIE just said, he knew all about the clauses, so I think we're
No,
pretty good.
God. No, there was no
As
Santa Claus
far
in
as a
your
bit
movie.
goes, that kills. But at the same time, we don't see it.
There's no magic. There's no magic in your movie.
There was only Santa's son in your movie.
Yes, but there was magic, and he was going to grow up to be Santa. I guess when he killed his dad off, I don't know how that works.
It's fucked up.
His dad had to fall off a roof.
Everything is so upsetting.
Ding, ding,
right
ding. And we're done.
I'm actually getting more upset about these movies
Okay.
now.
All right, guys.
Sorry,
I'm
it's
not
clearly
sure
hard
if we
for me
got
to-
married by
to
Christmas,
diss the movie. I'm like,
but we definitely need to sing some new song, and it might need to be the Mistle-Tones.
Oh.
And they are the people for the job.
Now she's on a roll, guys.
Yeah. All right, John. Tell us about your tones.
All right. Well, let's talk about how one person learned to appreciate Christmas, and that person being me. Me going to this movie was a pretty, hard as stone, and angry at the world, and largely depressed. And I didn't know that the healing power of music, specifically Christmas music, and just if it's sung by relatively hot people and a synchronized routine, just how magical overall that can be. And that's kind of the plot. Tia Mowry from Sister Sister, a dope-ass show, she wants to be a part of the Snow Bells. And they don't let her in because it's like, you're not good enough, except she outclasses everybody by a billion. Anyway, so she starts her own group and finds people from work and even blackmailing her boss, which is, a very honorable thing to do in the Christmas season, is blackmail your boss to get you to have him teach you how to sing in what I think is probably the best training montage in any movie I've ever seen, where there's a clear progression between raw talent but unskilled to like really rocking it. And I think it's a great progression, and the way they master the song in with it, and as the song goes through its various movements and verses, they get better. It's a very well constructed musical in that regard, and the songs really push the plot forward. And so I wrote some notes while doing this, because by the very end there was feeling, there was heart, there was Reginald VellaJohnson was in there talking about her mom who sang to her at the Christmas, the mall, and just, it was a real moment, and I teared up a little bit because it was like my heart had been thawed by all this singing that was just coming my way. I was just like, I can't be so jaded anymore. I got to really appreciate, the power of music and magic at Christmas. And then they saw the picture, and then they sang the song, and it was just, chef's kiss, Christmas chef's kiss. So yeah, the stakes really good, really big. Singing at a mall on Christmas Eve, no joke. There's a lot of pressure. A lot of people who don't care about Christmas, who don't believe in the magic, and you really got to get through them. And this movie is able to have a villain, and that they can overcome, and that's capitalism and workaholism, and just being able to turn that change the boss's ways, from being a corporate shill who just overworks, to being singing on a stage, rocking out at karaoke, and just forgoing that lifestyle. Very, very good. Some funny moments, some things that really kind of warmed me in terms of just humor I like. The coworker Larry, he wouldn't know where the keyboard was to save his life, and I think that's endearing. There's a scene where they're trying to act busy, and he's just typing on his notebook next to the keyboard, next to the computer. And I don't think I've laughed as hard, in this year, 2018 of our Lord, as that moment where he is just typing away on the keyboard. And he's also filing, doing fake filing on a filing cabinet, which again, just, I had to be careful because it's midnight. Kids are in bed, family's in bed. I can't laugh so loud. You gotta be very careful about that shit. And we got the coworker falling in love with the HR person who likes video games. Is a very interesting twist, a very fun twist on the formula of HR people being boring, stodgy people with no personality, turning her around, making her a video game nerd, and making the coworker fall in love. And I ship them quite a bit. They're two very attractive people who can smash their controllers at each other all night, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. The antagonist is fun. Poor dog. She'd never put that thing down. But when you love a dog so much.
Tori Spelling you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wait,
Tori Spelling is a dog?
She has a dog.
No. She's in this as the villain. She's the villain, and
in a dog
How
costume. No,
dare
kidding.
they?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting you hadn't mentioned Tori Spelling yet. You've mentioned her character.
Brian.
I'll stop.
But she never put the dog down, and I understand that feeling for pets that people have, and that's just it's good to be, affectionate to things. And I've learned a lot about affection and singing and all that. Man, it's just really hard to be a cynical bastard when I watch this movie. So much, so much mirth, and the way they come up with the band name, which is in the title, which that synergy is just so hot. It melts the snow of anyone's heart. I seriously love what this movie did to me in 2018. The end.
All right, well, if you're done. All right, everyone, take these tones down. Tell me how they're out of tune.
I'm excited if one movie on the table has people of color in it.
I forgot to
that's
mention
not
that,
a criticism. That's just oh, look, people of color in a Christmas movie.
This one was... I loved all these movies, of course. This one was the toughest to get through, I would say. And it was mostly because I think the movie fundamentally doesn't work when you point out that the main character's mom started the Snowbells, and then the Snowbells won't let her in the band. For some reason,
takeover, yo.
It never worked for me. They never explained, wait, don't I kind of own this group? They never even bring it up. They just kind of keep...
She's a legacy.
Yeah, they just keep moving past it. No, we're just not going to mention it. But I feel like this would work. And then the other major flaw with this movie is, as a former Christmas mall singer, this guy right here, this movie's bullshit. Nobody shows up for this stuff. You're singing to a crowd of 10 people who are annoyed that there's
Was it deeply triggering for you to watch this?
Oh my God. Just flashbacks of forgetting the words to "You're the Mean One, Mr. Grinch" in front of 20 people. Because that's all that show up for these Christmas things. And it's just you know what? That's what I expected. I expected that Christmas crowd of everybody who wants to be there. It's Christmas Eve, and it's my parents and my neighbors, and then my other friends' parents, and maybe a neighbor. Nobody shows up. Nobody goes out into the street to dance. This movie, it just upset me.
If they're me watching this movie, then yes, they do. They show up because their hearts are so warmed.
I'm disappointed because I thought for a second that Tori Spelling was playing a dog. in this movie. I'm not so upset at Tori Spelling, and I feel kind of like I did when I found out that one lady didn't want 12 days of cake. It's really disappointing.
Tori Spelling should also never be a villain. She is a treasure. And I also resent Christmas movies with small dogs because everyone knows Christmas is a big dog holiday.
Disagree.
Whoa.
No, dude, like winter dogs.
There's room for two different kinds of dogs.
There's a song
Sure.
for this.
Little
All I
dogs
want for
have-
Christmas is 2 dogs. One of each size. They sing it very well.
Big dogs get the shaft in romantic comedies all the time because you always want a girl to have like a cute little friend that she can take places with her. But Christmas is the one time of the year the big dogs come out in the snow.
I don't disagree with you. More problems with this movie.
I know. It's
just-
rough. Like, obviously, you know.
Although I will say this, Tori Spelling is a pretty good villain. I agree, National Treasure, of course. But
Obviously, she's such a good actor.
but she legitimately played a despisable villain.
Despicable.
Sure, if you want to
No,
use
that's
proper
the word.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
She's evil. Like, that's a
Yeah.
evil supervillain. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with despisable though.
Despisable Me 3.
Yeah.
The knockoff version with little blue pills.
That's the
as-
asylum
Perfect.
version.
Yeah, the asylum is despisable me. Perfect.
Despisable. I just did a movie with Tia Mowry, and it was much better than that one. That's all I'm going to say. And we did a movie of Reginald Vell Johnson, too, a couple
Oh,
years ago
nice.
as well.
They're so charismatic on screen. Her
Yeah.
smile, like everyone's so happy. God, it just makes
People
me feel
love
so
her. They
warm.
love her.
But Christmas music is really annoying to listen to. So how
If
did
you have no
rate-
soul, yes, I'm
if you've ever worked in a place where you're paid by the hour and have to hear it piped in for the entire month of November and December, it's really.
I have for years, and I still like listening to Christmas music.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like it's
I
like
want to stab Sleigh Ride and like Winter Wonderland right in the face because I could. There's 800,000 versions of both
Sure.
of those
You
songs,
know what?
and I'm like, I am fucking over it.
They don't play "Baby It's Cold Outside," and that's a million points in their favor.
That song is a treasure. I'm kidding. I can't.
Chewy's judging. On Chewy's page about that.
Oh
It's been
my god,
fascinating, by the way.
that blew up to be its own.
Thing.
That thread has
That
been
was
amazing.
novel.
Intentionally set shit off though.
Oh my
I would
god!
just like to note that this movie is so boring. We've actively talked about several other subjects while tearing it down.
Magic's not boring, people. Your
But
arts are boring.
honestly, that was my biggest thing. Was like after watching all of them, this was the only one that if I came back on, and somebody had on TV, I'd go read a book somewhere else. Any other movie on the table, I would still watch.
Oh, someone's
one has
heart needs to
music
grow
in
3
it.
sizes.
Yeah, but it's not very good. Like it's just kind of okay covers of Christmas songs. Like, and that was kind of my thing. It was like
You're missing the choreography, man.
what choreography? Like, yes, the Snowbells did have choreography. I'll give you that one. But the Mistle-Tones kind of didn't. They just kind of.
Did the Snowbells wear really pretty dresses? Because that sounds like if you're a belle, you should have pretty dresses.
Well, the Snowbells did. The Mistle-Tones wore a very respectable getup for their play.
It sounds like the Mistle-Tones are just subpar in every way, and this movie shouldn't exist.
It should be called the Snowbells because
Yeah.
that's clearly where the talent lies.
And they're just talking about not letting. Just because someone's mom had talent doesn't mean they have talent. I feel like the Snowbells had a point.
Also, I will say, like, if they name themselves the Snowbells and the Mistle-Tones, do they just only perform around Christmas time?
Yeah, like you do.
Like they don't,
Like you do.
they don't exist any other
Dismiss,
time of
and
year?
we're done. That tone has been heard.
Oh no, that one's not as good.
I know.
Your
I'm trying.
transitions are treasures.
All right. Well, we gotta go with a classic now, guys. This is a tone we've always heard, actually, a lot, and they redo it. It's always remade, and this is another remake. A Cinderella Christmas.
A long road to get there.
Yeah, it's a long road. I mean, Cinderella has a long road to travel. She's got a lot of house to clean.
Guessy glass slipped on that one.
All right, tell us about A Cinderella Christmas.
Oh my god, so I really love Cinderella stories, and I genuinely loved this movie because I love Christmas movies too. And this combined them so well. It was like a genuinely good example of a Cinderella story. This girl, Angie, works, her parents died and her uncle took her in, and so she works with her uncle and her cousin at his event planning business. And she has helped to grow it from just a catering company into like hosting the like Jingle Ball event of the season in their community. And it's a big deal, it's big commission, except that her cousin takes all the credit because her cousin is lazy and jealous. But she never like, in true Cinderella fashion, she never like points out her cousin's shortcomings. She's like, oh, she believes she'll get better. And they're throwing this snowball, and this guy, Nicholas, he's the one hosting it. He's a super rich bachelor, and he can take over his company from his mom and dad. His dad's dead. He can take over their company once he's married. And he's been doing all these initiatives and working really hard, but all he's ever known as is like kind of a bachelor. Because of course he's like dating pretty frequently. No one's ever good enough. And he's like really handsome. So everyone's always taking his picture. He's like really handsome. Anyway. So through a mix up with a stocking game at this jingle ball party that he's throwing, Angie, who took
the Chris Masquerade.
The Chris Masquerade, yes, which is a terrible name. It's so hard to say, but I love that they tried. So at this Chris Masquerade, so Angie takes over Candace gets an invite to the ball because he thinks she's such a great party planner. This is a cousin. And through an allergic reaction from a facial, Angie ends up getting to go to the ball because it is a masquerade. He doesn't realize it's her. They connect. She doesn't realize it's him. And they really have like a great intimate moment. And she disappears. And he loses her at midnight in typical Cinderella fashion. And they've got items in their stocking that like tell personal things about them. Anyway, so he goes on a mission then to find this woman. He says he's going to marry her when he finds her. And like, yeah, that's a little extreme, but I think this guy's been searching for so long. He's met enough of what he doesn't want that now he knows what he wants, and it's this girl. And of course, like hijinks ensue. He thinks that it's the cousin because Candace, the evil cousin, she says, "You can take over the catering business if you let me marry this guy, if you help me keep up this charade." And Angie's like, I mean, it does get her off my back, and she wants to be a business owner, you know? She's trying to work this out with her cousin and her uncle. So she agrees. And of course, in the process of planning their Christmas wedding, she and Nicholas can't deny their chemistry. And it all comes to a head. Everybody has to tell the truth. And what's really special, like what really made this movie different, because obviously it's very contrived to fit a Cinderella story into a modern day paradigm. What was really special about it is at the end, everyone had to fess up to the fact that they were all kind of dishonest with one another. And there's these really great apology scenes where everyone's like, I'm really sorry. Like, I was doing what I thought was right in the moment. Or I let my ambition get the better of me and, hurt a bunch of people in the process. Even the uncle apologizes for kind of accidentally, inadvertently pitting his daughter and his niece against one another. And the evil cousin, she actually sincerely apologizes. She tries to make amends. Everyone like has a real come to Jesus moment in which like kind of the qualms many people have with Cinderella stories are addressed in like a real world and sincere way. It's like really emotionally nuanced and mature. And that's kind of what set it apart for me. Like all the acting was really good quality. All the characters were really charming. The chemistry was actually like palpable between Angie and Nick. The girl from Facts of Life was the fairy godmother / dress designer, and she had purple hair and was so cute. And I'm just a sucker for these movies. I loved it, and I loved the kind of the ending that was not as cut and dry as you'd expect. They still ended up together, but everyone had to like actually kind of face the contrivances and the dishonesty and the machinations, and it was lovely. And she still got her event planning business at the end because everyone was really excited that she kind of had her own ambition and money, and they financed it for her. So like it was great. I think that's all I've got. It was just like a really lovely movie.
I feel like your movie is the very nice version of my movie.
Yeah. I think it's like the
There's
very
corporation
nice
stuff in there.
All right, time. Take her down. Take down Cinderella.
I had to get that in before I had to start.
Rip her clothes off.
That's horrible. No one would do that in this wholesome film.
Other than it being called the Chris Masquerade,
Yeah.
which is stupid. How was it? Was it a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all like he wanted to get married at Christmas time. It was a Christmas wedding.
Like I said, very similar to my movie in that regard.
Yeah.
Except mine is just mean.
And
There's a
neither
garland
of your
in the
movies
background.
have any magic in them.
The magic of true love.
All right, no magic, no Christmas
But there
magic.
also are no precocious children.
Christmas movies like have precocious children. That's the thing.
You just kind of expect them at some point.
Yeah.
I think yours was the only one that did.
Yeah, that's why mine is and Santa and magic. I'm just saying. Anyway, we're talking about your movie right now.
Mine had the hottest man.
He was a good-looking guy. I'll
Zach
give you that.
Morris. His movie had Zach Morris in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Mine had. whoever they were. No, the thing is, like, while watching yours, I'm like, this one's actually not bad. Like, it's legitimately not a terrible movie, but I think they made the stepsister, if you will, or the evil cousin, they made her way too evil. Like, they made her so annoyingly evil that whenever she was on screen, it's like, holy crap, how does anyone want to be around her? Even the guy who thinks that, like, oh, I guess she was really cool at the party, but now she sucks. Like, they made her so far, like, no one would be able to stand being in her presence that it kind of disrupted the magic a little bit of, like, no, she should be at least somewhat cool. And, like, they try to play games with it with, like, Angie speaking in her ear to try to, like, this is what I would say in this situation, but she fucked it up every time. So, like, she'd say this really sweet thing, and then she'd say something kind of close but dumb. So, like, I just never bought that he would believe that she was the same girl from the party. And they keep trying to make you believe it, and it made me think the main guy was just an idiot.
I mean, maybe that's what it was.
Well, I mean, he did decide to marry a woman after meeting her and dancing with her once. I mean, for God's sake. Don't do that.
I guess, yeah.
A really nice, intimate conversation.
Oh, well, then you should definitely get married and not, maybe ask her on a date first.
No, ask her to marry you via YouTube video. But I will say this: your movie did have Lucy DeVito in it, and I love Lucy DeVito.
Yes. She was the quirky best
It's a
friend.
cute movie. I
there's
liked it.
always
I
a
liked it.
quirky
Yeah,
best
it's
friend.
very. Like, I think it's very, like, it's cute, especially when it comes to these sorts of movies. It does a lot of things well, but for me, it keeps coming down to the evil stepsister. Like, with the time of the movie when they're trying to redeem her, I'm like, no redemption. You sucked. Like, you were just awful to be around. I mean, kudos to the actress. She did a great job. Like, great job being just completely unlikable. But they made her so unlikable, it kind of ruined the movie for me. Like, it ruined the parts that I was that I would be excited about.
So there's a whole scene where everyone's just apologizing.
It's like 3 scenes back to
It's like
back.
3 scenes.
Oh, God.
And it's not quite that, like, morose. It's just, the tying up loose ends and, hey, we're getting married and blah, blah, blah. The redemption moments.
If we don't apologize, then these relationships do not make sense because we've been doing nothing but lying
I'm
to each
just,
other
like,
the whole
picturing
movie.
a lot of David Tennant just coming up and being like, I'm so sorry.
So sorry. So sorry.
It was that cute.
Usually when David Tennant said, I'm so sorry, it wasn't cute, it was devastating.
Yeah, he had very good reasons to be saying I'm sorry.
But I mean, David Tennant himself is just very cute.
He's
Very
cute,
true.
Yeah. He's not in any of these movies. More's the pity.
Yeah, they all would have been a little better with a little David Tennant.
I'll have to
Everything
see
is.
if there is one online.
Well, he's in a
gotta
lot of
be
Christmas episodes of Doctor Who.
He does have that going for
Yeah.
him. Trying to think what else I didn't like. Really, that was the biggest sticking point for me was the stepsister. And the masks looked awful. The masks from the masquerade, like,
Were they Christmas themed masks?
they were
Yes.
winter themed.
Okay.
They
They're
weren't
about
Christmas.
as good as the title of the masquerade.
Yeah.
I'll interject as a art person. Those are all the cheap masks available on mass on Amazon.com. Because I have looked at them for other reasons, and they did not try hard.
Even with knowing that, they put her in the worst mask possible. Like, it covers up not just like her face, which is important for a masquerade, but it covers up her eyes. And it's like, this is an actor. Like, I get it, like, if this was an actual party, but
She's
an actor,
not Daredevil.
yeah, we want to see her eyes. Like, we want, like, that's important.
I feel like for your lead, you would maybe make a mask just for that. I mean, get the cheap mask for everybody else, but, like, go to Joann's, buy one with a blank mask, make it pretty, and use that, like, because it's your lead.
Yeah,
Don't cheap out on that.
and it just didn't look good on her, and, like, it was unfortunate. Yeah, just unfortunate parts in this.
I mean, I did kind of like it, though, because, like, you can tell a lot. You can usually identify a person from their eyes. And I think in this way, it was like...
DC Comics begs to differ.
Okay, fair. So did Hell or High Water.
And we're done. And that Cinderella tale is also done. We finished another Cinderella tale. All right,
happens.
guys. Well, we have 5 Christmas movies.
5 Christmas movies.
5. Again, it started out with My Santa, 12 Dates of Christmas, Married by Christmas, The Mistle-Tones, and A Cinderella Christmas. All right. You all did a pretty good job defending your movies.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. But there were a couple key words that you need in a Christmas movie. Christmas spirit and magic and wonder and how it affected you emotionally. And really the only people on the table that did that was Emily and John.
Whoa.
So who wins?
Well, it's actually tough. because you guys both did a pretty good job defending your movie. The takedown, actually, Sam was doing really well, but your takedown was pretty harsh. Like, you didn't really have very many ways to defend it. Brian, you seem to enjoy your movie, but you weren't super invested in it.
What do you mean?
Brian, you definitely got some stuff out of your film, and you really tried hard with the messages in this film.
It was either that or pretend it was an episode of Legends of Tomorrow.
That would have been weird.
But really, there was no Christmas spirit in your movie.
No, it's kind of a mean
No.
movie.
Mine is also just not very Christmassy. It's
No.
all incidental.
So I was a
Well,
little disappointed.
With this help, I've learned a lot about Christmas this past week. And I would like to gift the win to Emily.
But Sean, you've
I was
never
gonna give it to
won.
you. I was rooting for you.
It's
You
wonderful.
did a really good job.
You sold your bucket so I could play instruments.
I really appreciate.
Capitalist hellscape.
I really appreciate that you guys are in the
Job,
Christmas
I know you
spirit.
struggle a lot
These
with these, and you
movies-
nailed it today.
Yes, John. Of all of your battles, I think you defended your movie of some of the best you've done on this film.
Thank you.
But with the key words and the inability to really take her down very much, Emily does win. Because she talked about all the right things. Like, it gave her Christmas spirit. She had a hug. Really, the only thing that you didn't never mention that it was a Lawrence brother. That's really when the what? Yeah, Lawrence.
That changes everything.
The Santa is Matt Lawrence.
I don't know who that is.
Joey Lawrence is
The
that
90s.
brother.
He's the
Miss
hot one
Doubtfire?
of the
Miss
Lawrence
Doubtfire?
brothers.
I don't know who
Oh
that
my
is.
God, I would never have even tried to take this down if I had known. I'm so glad you didn't know.
Sorry, I
He's
didn't
the
know
son
who
of
that
Mrs.
is.
Doubtfire. Robin Williams' son and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh,
Yeah, I had
right.
no idea. No idea, guys.
Oh,
That
right,
was
you
the
did that.
only
I was
big
excited
problem.
about
Brother
Senator
and Boy
Armstrong.
Meets
I didn't know this
World?
other dude was in it. Sorry, everyone.
But since
I
you
failed.
said that this movie like really affected you on an emotional level of how you feel towards Christmas and how magical and whimsical you felt while you watched it, you win.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, the only time my parents ever tried to take me to see Santa Claus, it was in the mall, and I screamed and cried and refused to sit on his lap, and so they never tried again.
Having just done this, that is a very common response from
And it
parents.
really
Corin was really
speaks-
cool, but
It speaks to the quality of a Lawrence brother that even though you didn't have the nostalgia of the 90s on your side, you still liked him.
I liked him.
Yeah.
He made, like, the turkey better, and he made cookies.
yeah.
You know?
I do wish he didn't chug so much goddamn hot chocolate, but that's a
it.
personal issue.
Matt
So.
Lawrence.
I love that Matt Lawrence just loves hot chocolate.
Yeah.
That just makes him even more wholesome and delightful.
That is
I
so
feel like we're
wholesome.
all winners because we worked on it.
Yeah.
So we're all winners.
Yeah,
here,
I still
you
feel
know?
a little victory.
I'm glad you. It's a good thing you
fun
picked that
battle,
movie,
though.
Chewie. That's all I'm going to say
That's
right
one.
now.
I really wasn't expecting my Santa to win, but
I would have loved to have worked on all of these movies. I've never worked in a Christmas movie. It sounds delightful.
Do you want to intern or do you want to come?
she's a script supervisor.
Oh, you are. Oh my God. Actually, yeah. Let me get your information. You travel.
So with that, let's do a quick round of plugs and then we can get out of this.
Yeah.
I'll go first. As always, listen to Venture Brothers podcast. We today, if you have not already listened to it, our Christmas episode is out. So download our Christmas episode. And then tune in not next week because we are all going on a little bit of a hiatus. But coming up, we'll start finishing season 3. But I will say after this episode, we are taking a break till mid-January. So sorry, guys, but that's what happens
The
when you travel
holidays
for
get
the
in the way. People want to meet our baby and stuff.
They really do.
Yeah, forget ever being
Consistent.
important to anybody else now. Now that you have a baby.
Yeah, we're second fiddle.
I'm so okay with
Second,
that.
third.
It puts a lot of pressure off of you. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Any other plugs?
Oh, yes. Every Tuesday, well, actually, I'm on hiatus as well, I guess, at this point. On Tuesdays, you can listen to Samwise, an advice podcast in which I answer people's questions using the Lord of the Rings extended editions and their special features. If you're listening to this now, I'll be prepping my special episode post-Christmas because I'm in New Zealand, hopefully at, like, Rivendell. So that's cool. But it's great fun. You should check it out. And if you want to submit a question, sam.wise.ath@gmail.com or 608-561-2755.
What you should do is take the recorder with you and just start giving people advice at those locations.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, no.
Not a bad idea.
I'm going to hype one more time Michael and Michael Are Gay, which is a web series I worked on, and it is delightful.
Oh my god, I know Michael Rock.
Yeah,
I love them.
They're
awesome.
amazing, and their web series is fucking glorious. And I think by the time this comes out, episode 4 will probably have dropped, and that is Naked Party.
Nice.
And I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what happens. Is there's a bunch of just hot.
They're both in great shape. So
yeah, they're both in amazing shape.
Yeah,
that is
like
a joke that frequently happens because it's like you guys don't look like you should look like this.
Right.
They both look really nebbishy in the face, and then they have these ridiculous bodies. But it's a delightful show, and there are 4 episodes, so I highly recommend it.
Cool. And Brian, what do you have to plug?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of Christmas movies playing right now this year. So by the time this airs, they'll still be rerunning. Jingle Bell on Lifetime, My Christmas in on Lifetime, starring Tia Mowry. Christmas Made to Order on Hallmark, and Christmas Wonderland on Hallmark. And on Ion, A Christmas in Royal Fashion, and A Wedding for Christmas. Those are all the movies we did this year. Christmas movies we did this
It's
year.
amazing.
Gosh, you were busy.
The rest are thrillers and horror films, but those are the 6 Christmas movies. So if you want to catch them out.
I look forward to watching some of them with my family.
We will definitely watch some with her family.
Yeah.
And then some of the
I
ones
love
from
these.
previous years, I'm sure these things are
Yeah.
going to outlast all of us. They'll run till the end of time.
You might die, but a Christmas movie is forever.
It is true.
Chewie, anything to plug?
Just keep watching Superstore, guys. We are getting some amazing articles written up about our cast and our writers and such. Particularly a one on Vulture right now about how Amy and Dina's characters are breaking boundaries of women on screen. So check that article out and just keep watching our show.
It's a good show.
Thank you. Superstore.
Plug the website.
Oh, yeah. Be sure to check out athpod.com where you can find literally everything but the things Brian and Chewie just said. But we have new articles coming out. We have our new featured writer, Matt Dykes, who's been writing for us for a while now, but now is just officially doing it.
Thank God, because that was getting tough to just constantly be producing content, and he's taken the weight off of that.
Yeah, he writes like a madman. And some really, really cool stuff. Today, his article is Alternate Christmas Movies, which is a very interesting article. I highly recommend everybody check it out.
What does that mean?
You'd have to read the article.
Oh.
I don't want to spoil anything.
I
Matt says
just don't know what an alternate Christmas movie means.
I haven't read the article yet, so I have no idea.
There's a
just got
Christmas
edited
scene
out.
in a movie, and that's
Yeah,
all.
I think
is
that's
it
what
Die
it-
Hard,
I
or
think-
is it
right.
like... Yeah.
I think that's
look
what it
back
is.
at Shane Black's filmography.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember what it is. He told me what it was, and then I didn't read it. So
Oh.
this is all just getting chopped out. I'm just going to
Oh.
say, read the
Copy
article.
that.
And then, I think it's still Mondays or Wednesdays and Fridays?
Wednesdays and Fridays.
Wednesdays and Fridays. And
All
sure, check
right.
it out.
Thanks for checking us out on Christmas Day, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for taking a break from your family, if you did. And if not, thank you for listening to us
We
after
gave you a good
Christmas.
escapism, hopefully.
Yeah.
This was really fun.
Yeah, this was a good one. This was a great idea, Chewie.
You're
Yeah.
all.
Even if I didn't enjoy all the movies as much as everyone else did, I still enjoyed them. So
That's good.
that's all that matters.
Yes, I win. That's the
You
definition of this.
win.
You win, the audience wins, and
We
we
all
all
win.
kind of win.
Everybody.
Yeah, this was the best battle
Christmas!
episode ever.
That's great.
Okay, thank you, Brian, for coming out.
Thank you for having me. It's fun.
Bye.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.